忍の時代は終わる。
螺旋岩.
A mystery behind the black hole of Sarada Uchiha. At least, this is the topic of our discussion today. We all know that right now, Sarada has awakened a very special ability. And of course, it's overpowered, right? We don't even need to doubt that Sarada can now truly be called a proud successor of her ancestors. But that's not the only point I actually mean. We know that after Sarada activated her Mangekyou Sharingan named Ohirume, something caught our attention. Exactly. Only her right eye was bleeding after she completely drained her chakra to create a powerful ability capable of destroying Ryu. Many believe that Ohirume's power is one of the abilities of Sarada's right eye. In other words, there is a new power that may soon be revealed, and it will come from Sarada's left eye. But is it reasonable to assume that Sarada's left eye holds the potential of a new ability yet to be unveiled? And this is the interesting point we're going to discuss today. First of all, we know that Sarada has revealed all the weaknesses she had felt and suppressed all this time, which became the major trigger for why Sarada had not yet understood what she was truly supposed to do and what it really means to be a ninja aspiring to become Hokage. Thus, before we discuss the power of Sarada's left eye, we will first talk about the meaning behind every word Sarada has said. Basically, to conclude the emotional confession that Sarada had been holding inside, especially regarding her feelings toward Boruto, we can all agree that at the beginning, the relationship between Boruto and Sarada was nothing more than that of close friends, or even a deep fraternal bond. And once again, it was simply a bond that Sarada regarded as that of siblings, nothing more than what Sumire feels for Boruto. However, the feelings that Sarada once thought were merely fraternal toward Boruto grew beyond that, and everything was revealed alongside the hidden potential she had been holding back all this time. Of course, it was no longer just a fraternal bond. It became something greater than sibling-like feelings. And from a flashback, specifically the Omnipotence tragedy, it's clear that Sarada didn't understand why everything related to Boruto hurt her so much. Indirectly, this signifies a moment of enlightenment for her, the moment she realized and accepted the fact that she had feelings for Boruto. In other words, this can be interpreted in two ways, both positively and negatively. The positive side is her desire to protect, pursue her dreams, and embrace her love for Boruto. The negative side involves anger, helplessness, and so on. In short, it's about Sarada accepting herself, recognizing that reality, the facts she faces are absolute, and acknowledging that this very acceptance is also her weakness. Well, to further expand the meaning behind Sarada's words, it seems that if this is all clear, if Sarada is in love with Boruto, but when compared to Sumire, it seems that Sarada hasn't really revealed what she feels, especially to Boruto. We can all just guess and assume. Yeah, although that also makes sense, because basically, Sarada has only just accepted her shortcomings so far. And of course, the time when Sarada will really reveal what she feels to Boruto, it might still take a few more chapters ahead. And so far, the meaning behind Sarada's words, that she loves Boruto, is still only an assumption. Because after all, there are still two possibilities. Either Sarada truly loves Boruto merely with the kind of love she feels for a friend she considers a sibling, or it is pure, genuine love that comes from deep within her heart, and still talking about Sarada Uchiha. After it was proven that of Sarada's two eyes, only one eye was bleeding because she activated an ability with a large chakra to bleed. Of course, this raises a big question mark, especially about one left eye. Not a few also assume that Sarada will have other abilities, and one of them is time manipulation, or even thoughts. The assumption is, of course, directly proportional to one of the clues in Chapter 21. The clue is one of Sarada's Mangekyou Sharingan abilities that really looks like a black hole. We all know that one of the things that makes the most sense about black holes is that they are synonymous with time that is likely to change, or even time that is unknowable to us. I mean, as crazy as this sounds, is it possible that an object or something being sucked into the hole would move the object to a place where time would be different? But on the other hand, after Sarada sucked up all of Ryu's iron sand, this also raises a new question. So where did all the material that was sucked into the black hole go? Well, actually, this is still a mystery. But there is also something else that can be done if there is a probability that Sarada has the ability to manipulate time. You still remember about Izanagi and Izanami? An ability that can make the user avoid death. The way it works may not be the same as Izanagi and Izanami. because Izanagi and Izanami are only an illusion or genjutsu, while the time manipulation that can be used later has the same logic as the sun itself. We all know that the calculation of time on planet Earth is based on the movement of the Earth around the sun. If the sun is the center of time, then the sun is the creator of time itself. If the sun stops shining, can people calculate how long time has passed? Yes. Therefore, the sun is indeed a reference for measuring time. Well, from this theory, then we can think that perhaps Sarada's next power is time stopping and time reversal, and simply put, time manipulation. Time stoppage or time reversal can be used to help Sarada from her death. Again, this is very familiar with Izanagi, because basically that ability can only change reality. In other words, Sarada can turn death or damage into an illusion and then fix it from the beginning. Izanami, on the other hand, is a jutsu that allows one to trap the enemy in an illusory infinite loop of time until they accept their fate. In other words, this jutsu serves as a punishment to make them be better so that they realize their mistakes and accept their fate. But anyway, maybe if Kishimoto doesn't want Sarada to inherit Sakura's powers, he can still make Sarada a savior for her friends, but not through medical abilities. Instead, it would be by utilizing time manipulation. Even though powers like time stopping and time reversing are extremely overpowered, Kishimoto could create a reasonable exception for Sarada's abilities. And of course, behind every overpowered ability, there will always be a weakness, just as Lord Itachi once said, right? And as a final conclusion, first, for some fans, especially Borosara shippers, it is clear that Chapter 21 proves that Sarada truly loves Boruto. However, for those who still doubt this, they will wait for direct confirmation from Sarada herself in the upcoming chapters. Because once again, whether Sarada's love for Boruto is truly pure love, or if it's simply the love of siblings who protect each other, remains to be seen. Second, if it is a fact that from her left eye, Sarada has an ability or other potential, then one that is quite plausible is the manipulation of time or thoughts. Because after all, we cannot consider that the ability to manipulate thoughts or time is nonsense. Because if we look at the history of Uchiha, they are a clan that is able to create a jutsu to cheat death and even their fate by manipulating time, right? Third, actually, any theory about Sarada is the most interesting part to discuss, although sometimes it's a little crazy, but that's what attracts our attention. But disclaimer guys, whatever the theory is, we as fans can only assume and cannot claim that this will be 100% absolute. But at least we can slightly predict some possibilities that will happen. But whatever you guys think, I'll be happy to hear it. Thanks for watching, like and subs, I'm Nim. See you in the next video. Bye-bye, Dada Bio.